Oh, hang on. What's that saying? Got it. Okay. I can't hear anything.
Oh.
Something. I actually can't hear anything. Am I meant to be able to hear?
I was looking in wrong places. I was wanting hopeful faces. I was looking for me. I was looking for me. So much importance on acceptance or rejection taught me so much lessons. I was looking for me. Oh, I was looking for me. To you I was nothing, but to me I'll always be something. I hear you. You thought I was nothing, but to me I'll always be something. I'll always be something. Hey, hey. So I wanted life's pleasures, but I added too much pressure. I was looking for me. Oh, I was looking for me. I let fear rule it all. I wish I'd watched it fall. I was looking for me. I was looking for me. To you I was nothing, but to me I'll always be something. I hear you. You thought I was nothing, but to me I'll always be something. I'll always be something. Hey, hey. I'll always be something. Hey, always be something. Hey, 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 hey.
Oh, I get so embarrassed. I do. I'm like, oh, I'm playing right now. Thank you for that.
You are very welcome. Real Talk Radio, you know what time it is. This is not a surprise. This is an unmasking, and we have the talented, the poetical, the really good spoken and singing Kate Clark. How you doing, Kate?
Thank you for that introduction. I'm doing really well, thank you, Peabody. Although a little embarrassed, I must admit. I always cringe when I hear myself. Like, I'm sure you know what I mean when you're on the spot like that. It's kind of, but yeah, thank you for playing my song.
Well, I personally don't know it because when I hear my music, I'm just like,
oh, really? No, I mean, I'm proud of it, but I do get a little bit shy listening to myself, or the response of myself listening to myself. But yeah, but I'm very well. Thank you for asking me to do this interview.
And you're very welcome. And we're going to get to know who you are, the person behind the art, the person behind the craft, the person behind the music, and your whole musical journey. And starting with it, we'll just start off with the basis, like what compelled you to write this song? Because it is a deeply moving, thought-provoking, conscious substance song. So what derived all these thoughts? Where'd they come from?
Well, thank you. Well, firstly, I must say thank you to Matthew May for the instrumental arrangement, because that doesn't belong to me. So I bought the beat on the internet like we do sometimes. And I wanted to write a song about really believing in yourself. So I'm from we all have our walk in life. And I think my biggest problem is I've never really believed I'm good enough, just generally, but also with my music. And when I was 22, I went for an audition. I finally got the courage to sing in front of somebody. I said, "Can I sing?" I really wasn't sure anyone would accept my voice. And this guy was like, "What are you doing? Why are you not out there singing?" So I got this over the years. I built confidence, but I still wasn't really there. But when I joined the Real Talk Radio family, I just found all this confidence. And I suddenly, for the first time ever, really believed I was something, that I can do this, you know what I mean? So the song is really about me musically, but it's also about anyone that did me a wrong and said I'd be a nothing, because I'm not a nothing, that there have been those people in my life who said I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that and I wasn't good at this. You know, we get rejected in life. It's about believing in you. And to somebody else, I might be nothing, but to me, I am now something. So really, it's about that. And you could take, and anybody could relate. It could mean a boyfriend that dumped you. It could be an audition where they didn't want you. The song is kind of, covers a lot of ground, but that's what it's about. I have to thank Chris as well, Chris McPherson, aka Twin Sight, for mixing it for me. He really brought it to life. I sang that on my kitchen table. I mean, I have a vocal booth behind me in my house that I never use. I just don't like. It's so stupid. I put it in, but I always knock into something, or I just don't enjoy singing in there. So I always sing at my kitchen table, and then wonderful people clean out the background noise and create these tracks for me, so I'm so thankful for that. So, as with every track, a producer helps me, and Chris was this one. So I'm grateful.
Shout out to Twin Side. It's his birthday.
Shout
So
out to Insight, got to support.
it's your birthday, so I guess we'll acknowledge you on an unmasking that doesn't have your name on it. You somehow always find your way in these conversations, Twin Side.
But you know what? You asked me to do this. I just happened to be wearing the shirt today. It wasn't planned. You're my witness to that. I was wearing it earlier.
Unplanned. But I wanted to touch base on, because we talk about belief and the confliction of self-belief, and I gotta ask, like, when you were younger, when you were a child, to the best of your recollection back then, did you believe in yourself?
No, I think I think I never really felt a sense of belonging anywhere. Like, don't get me wrong, I had a mum and dad who loved me and stuff, but life was a little bit colorful, broken family, and lots of things happened on the way, I wonder if it has something to do with the relationship with my dad. We get on well now, but as a kid, I look back, I don't know, I just never really believed I was good enough. With anything, I was insecure, and the music came later. Like, I used to sing privately in my bedroom, but again, I was terrified to show anyone my voice. I was so scared of rejection and that they'd say I'm no good. And I used to play like the flute and the piano, classical training. And again, I would be, I felt I could do it, but not in front of people. It was like I loved to make the music, but the showing of it, I was so scared, but yeah, just generally, I never felt good enough. It's been my biggest problem in life, which somebody else might watch this and think, oh, what's she talking about? But we all have stuff, and that's my thing. I always worry, am I good enough? Can I do this? And it's only now in my 40s that I'm getting more comfortable with believing in myself,
So, like, when you were a child, did you ever imagine that you were something other than yourself, like a pirate or a superhero, or like imagination? Did you ever have those thoughts? And when you were doing that, did you believe it? Like, did you believe, like, when you were the pirate or the superhero, did you believe, like, I am an awesome pirate or I am an awesome superhero?
Well, I never believed I was a superhero, and I'd love to put a cape on. Just putting that out there. If anyone's got a part for me in a film, I'd love to be a superhero. But I always believed I was different. And that's not like in a big-headed way, like, not that I'm better than anybody or anything like that. But I never felt like I was fit the mold, like I felt like there was some other purpose, something that was different. I felt kind of special, but didn't know what to do with it. Like, as in, I was looked after. I can't really explain it. Like something was watching over me, kind of thing. But I never No, I used to imagine that sometimes I imagine I was from another planet, actually.
Okay.
That I'm not
And
really human. I've got blue blood. No, I I quite like to imagine I was from some other world, not this world. That was the thing I used to think about
and
as a
in this
child. Like,
world, in that
what's
world,
that?
were you a badass or what? I mean,
Yeah, no, I was a good like a good energy. I was very young when I used to think these things. I must have been about maybe 6 or 7. I had another language I used to practice as well that wasn't English. It was like a gobbledygook that I believed was my language from my other planet.
now
So yeah.
see, the reason I ask is because when we are children in our adolescence, we seem to believe in a lot of things, and it's easy to believe, but then somewhere along the line, we stop believing. And that's why I was curious, like, well, from what you're telling me, it seems like you didn't have many moments that you believed at all, which is puzzling, because usually we have this belief and then something happens along the way that shatters our belief, and we allow someone else's belief to become our own belief. And
Yeah,
that's
no.
what
Yeah, I didn't really have, no, I didn't believe, I definitely used to toy with the idea that I wasn't totally human. That was definitely real. I still wonder to date, to be honest. Could I be from Mars? I don't know. But no, I never had, I think I started to believe in my teens that I wanted to be an actress. Like that was a real belief. You know, I was like, I want to be on the stage. That's what I want to do. But I just couldn't push myself enough for fear of failure, because I would have loved to have done acting. Actually, film really interests me, you know. And then I end up doing the music later. But yeah, no, as a kid, I there was one thing. I believed I was a ballet dancer. And as you know, I've recently put point shoes on and done a little feature for our video. Now, I have never had a ballet lesson, but yeah, I know how to dance on these shoes. It's a bit strange. That's the only thing I really believe, that I knew how to dance without a lesson, which is weird. So yeah, that was a kiddie thing. You know, I thought that very young. But other than that, I can't remember anything else. They were the two things, being from another planet and possibly a dancer.
Yeah, but when you was a dancer, you believed in your dancing capabilities.
Yeah, and even now, I went and bought those point shoes a year ago. I walked into the dance shop, put them on. I had no idea why I was buying them, Peabody. And the lady said, "Where do you dance?" I said, "I don't." And then I came straight up on the point shoes. She was like, "How do you know how to do that then?" I said, "I don't know." But as a kid, I believed I could do it. So that's the one thing. I guess that's kind of what you're asking me. I mean, they were the only two things that
Yeah,
I can
because
remember.
when
Yeah.
we're kids, we just believe. There's none of these other preconceived notions. There's
Yes.
no
Yes.
we
Yeah.
and it's
And I did believe that. Looking back, my mum took me to a ballet lesson when I was 4, and I screamed the place down because they wanted me to wear these silly black pumps, like plimsolls. I was like, "Where are the point shoes?" I was 4 and I knew I needed point shoes. Isn't that strange? But
and
yeah,
you
so I
got
believed I could dance. I think that's the only thing, which is not really that true, but I did know how to use the point shoes.
but
I'm not a good dancer though.
it's interesting because you spoke on something that you were afraid of failing. And
Yeah.
you said recently, that you've come to build your own confidence. And by doing so, I only can imagine, were you able to push past this fear of failure?
I think so, because that video I've made recently for I mean, people won't know this, but we're doing a collaboration together, aren't we, for a new song? And I would never have filmed myself dancing in a tutu in my 40s. Like, there's no way, but I did it with confidence. I felt, I'm going to do this now. I can do this now. Like, that's the difference, the turnaround of me. I would have been terrified to show you all that video a few years ago. You know what I mean? But Real Talk Radio has done that for me. You know, meeting all of you, Chris, obviously I met basically the love of my life through your family, you know, and that really boosted my confidence as well. I just feel different about myself, you know, in a really good way. Like, I still have my demons. We all have our stuff, but I'm at peace now. Like, I feel more proud than I do disappointed. You know what I mean?
And now that you pushed past this fear of failure, do you feel like this fear of failure may have been holding you back?
Oh, definitely. It's a shame. You know, I used to hide in girl bands back in the late 90s, because it's no secret I'm a little bit older. I used to hide amongst the other girls, you know, I feel like that did hold me back because I knew that I could write really good songs and I never got to shine. You know, it was always just hidden within the other girls. And girl bands are great for kind of hiding, you know, there's 4 of you or whatever. I think it did hold me back. It's a shame. I should have gone to drama school. I should have really pushed myself because I probably could have done well, you know, but I just didn't believe it. It did hold me back, definitely. But you know, it's never too late.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's a shame. If I could relive my life, the one thing I would have changed was believing from just don't let it stop. Just keep going, you know.
I was gonna ask you that if you could jump into a space-time pod, shoot back to 10-year-old Kate Clark, what would you tell her?
Oh, I would tell her, don't date the next 20 men. Just wait, because they've all been a complete waste of time. Yeah, definitely don't. Yeah, I wouldn't have bothered with boys until now. I would have, I would have said, don't sweat the small stuff. I used to get very caught up in like things that really, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, don't sweat the small stuff. And I would have just said, you can do this, Kate. You are something, you know, that's what the song, you know, was about too. But yeah, I would go and have a word with myself. Literally. I'd even give myself a little punch.
Yeah. And I mean it. All right. I meant it when I said it. All right. And how'd you end up ballerinaing your way into music?
Ballerinaing. So, well, I didn't obviously ballerina into music. You mean how to get into music?
Yes,
so,
yes.
So when I was, this is a bad one. So when I was about 16, I was living with my mum, who was an alcoholic at the time, and her boyfriend, who was a lot younger, who was very nice actually. But I was very lonely and sad, like a teenage time, you know, looking for a boyfriend. And I'd been recently beaten up by the boyfriend I did have. And I kind of was in my room just practicing singing. And I suddenly realized, oh, I think I might be able to sing here. You know, this is when I was like 16. And I would practice with U2 and Kylie Minogue and all the kind of commercial artists. And I started to realize I loved it. It made me feel happy. It gave me this joy. And I was very sad at the time. I had a broken wrist. I've been beaten up. I've been headbutted. It was pretty bad. You know, it's not a nice thing to happen when you're any age, you know, and I was young. And that is when I realized I could sing. And from there, I just carried on singing, carried on practicing. But it did take me until I was 22 to sing in front of an audition type person. Can you believe it? To me all those years. And that is when I really went for it. And I joined the girl bands and realized I really want to do this now. But I still didn't believe I could do it, but I wanted it. That was the difference. So I just kind of fell into it. But I've been classically trained on the flute and piano. And I used to, you know, write music, if you like. I had exams for all that stuff when I was very young, from age maybe 11 to 15. And I think when I hit, you know, being 15, I thought it wasn't cool anymore to play the flute. So I just stopped. It's a shame because I've got the flute up in my loft here. If I got it out now, I could probably toot a few notes, you know.
How dare you not bring it down here with you.
Get it out. And I joke about, I think we have done once about putting it on a track. But I've got a keyboard and obviously I still play the keys, but I'm very rusty, you know. But anyway, that's how I fell into it, just practicing one day. And my stepdad actually said to me, Kate, you can sing. And I said, oh, I think I might be able to. It's like I didn't really know this until I was about 16. It's funny. Like I knew I had a voice, but I suddenly became better at it, you know, suddenly when I was sad. And it's interesting because that's when I write my best songs as well, when I'm really heartbroken. You know this, when you're in pain, you can put it into your music and it can turn out so well. You bring light into a dark moment, you know. Yeah, that's how I fell into it, just practicing when I'd been beaten up, literally. That was what I did. I sang my way into happiness, really.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because, you know, we say that we write our best music when the emotions are fresh and we're experiencing the pain. And then when you think back to when you first started making music, it was the pain that brought the music out, right? And
I was looking for something to make me feel better, and suddenly I was singing along and it just made me feel good. Like that's what singing gives me. It's one of the rare times I feel really, you know, kind of beautiful, if you like, without, I don't mean beautiful physically, I mean within, you know, like in my heart. So when I sing, it gives me peace. It's So yeah, that's how I kind of fell into it, through pain. And then it was like, oh, I want to do this. And I just went a few different avenues with it from there. For the last 25 years, it's 25 years ago now that I've been kind of in music, if you like.
And that really personifies the power of music, because
Yes.
I've been speaking to so many artists, as you know, and everybody pretty much has a commonality that they found this gift when they needed it the most. Just like you were saying, you're broken, you're hurting, and all of a sudden this gift comes to you and makes you feel alive for the first time in your life, and that's life changing.
Yeah, it
But
is.
I do want to touch base on something, because this is all about being real. And when this was happening to you, you said you were 16 years old.
Yeah, so yeah, it was pretty bad. It's my first love. He beat me up pretty badly. Yeah.
And I mean, I just want to ask, because maybe something that you've experienced can help someone out there that's going through something similar. Now, I mean, I can pretty much deduct that even though things like this happen to people in relationships, they're still blinded by this love. And was it easy for you to walk away from this?
No. So initially I lied to my parents. I said I walked into a cupboard. The first thing he did was headbutted me a week before. And I lied about that. I tried to cover it up, but I had this huge, what we call an egghead. It was bad. But the next week, my stepdad actually witnessed him beating me up and breaking my wrist at the front of our house. So I couldn't cover this up. It was pretty bad. He was much older than me. I was 16. He was 19. Anyway, he came to visit me a day later. He literally climbed up the drain pipe of my house and said, "Hey, baby, I'm sorry what I did. Will you meet me in the park?" And of course I did, because when you love someone, you want to forgive them. And I was a young kid. Like, now, I'm not being funny. He better watch out. I'd kick his ass. But then, seriously, I wouldn't put up with that crap now. That's the difference. In your 40s, you just wouldn't. But as a young 16-year-old, I wanted someone to love me. I was looking for love. I met him in the park and we had like a kind of talk, and he tried to talk me back to being with him. But then I walked away knowing I mustn't, like, this is wrong. And I told my mum, I said, "Mum, I really love him. What do I do?" She said, "No way, like, that's it." So she threw him out because he was staying in our house for a while. And that was that. I never saw him again. Like, I've never seen him again or heard from him. But yeah, my mum was like, "Get out of our house." And, but I went to my mum. It's what I mean about someone watching over me. Like, I wanted to give him another chance, but something said to me, "You must not." I don't know where the voice came from, but something better, bigger than me said, "You must not do this." And that's when I reached out to my mum, and she was like, "No way." So yeah, but it's very hard, that, because you love someone. Love is unconditional. You want to forgive people. Nobody's perfect, but it's not acceptable. Obviously, violence is never acceptable. So yeah, my advice to anyone going through that is you have to confide in someone very close to you to help you. It's very hard to have the courage to walk away on your own, you know?
Absolutely. So if you're out there and you might be going through something similar and you haven't told anybody and you're trying to figure out what to do, well, I mean, take someone's own pain and testimony and let that guide you to where you need to go so that you can get away from that. Because at the end of the day, if somebody loves you, they would rather hurt themselves than to ever hurt you. So that's not real love. And I'm sorry that you went through that, Kate Clark, but I am happy that you found music.
Yes, I did find music because of it. And it was a tough thing to go through. I actually wrote a song about it, actually. It's on my SoundCloud. It's called "Don't Tell." And it's about, the fact we never want to tell when somebody abuses us like that, because you can't almost believe it yourself that this is happening to you. You want to hide it and cover it up because it's almost embarrassing in a way as well, but yeah, it did lead me to music. It definitely, yeah, I found like beauty even in the pain, really.
And
As I was,
how would you feel to know that, your song or your testimony may have been able to help somebody to get themselves out of a situation like this?
love that, because well, what is life if we can't help other people? You know what I mean? Like, in fact, I feel very much that Real Talk Radio is so much about that, like giving, helping, because help costs nothing. It's completely free, isn't it, to help somebody? And I mean, people are inspirational. I hear stories from people that help me all the time, and if I can help anyone out there with that story, then obviously I really hope that I can. But as I say, mine was an easier one because I was young and I was living at home. Some women are living with men and some men are living with women, I must say, that do this to them on a weekly basis. They may have children together. It might be much more complicated than my situation, but there is help out there. You just got to reach out to find it.
Yeah, and men more importantly, because right, they feel even more embarrassed, which is
Then,
crazy.
yes.
But
What you
don't
mean
get
is beating up a man?
yeah, yeah. You're
That's
not
kind
gonna just go out and tell anyone about that.
Yeah, that's, yeah. I mean, because we live in a stereotypical world where the man is meant to be stronger than the woman physically, apparently.
What? I don't know, Twins. I don't know.
But that's funny. But yeah, I guess, yeah, men don't want to speak up if it's happening to them, but it does happen to men. I've read about that a lot. I mean, thankfully, I've never really encountered violence in that way, not physical abuse, since that time. And we are 31 years later. It's no secret, I'm 47. But, yeah, it's never happened to me again. I wouldn't put up with it now. That's the difference.
And why do you make music?
Why do I make it? Well, I love it. Firstly, it's my glorified hobby, if you like, but it's a passion. I have 2 children. I'm a single parent household. I run a fitness business and I love all of this, but the music's the thing for me. It's the thing that gives me the most joy, in terms of my own projects. It's an outlet for me emotionally. I think if I wasn't able to sing, everything would stagnate within me and I would probably feel very, very full of emotion that needs to come out. So I think I write and sing for 2 reasons. One, it relieves me emotionally, whether it be good or bad. I've got to let it out or I might burst. And 2, it makes me feel beautiful, like in my soul, like my heart. That really is the reason. And I just love music, like music's where it's at. I feel sorry for anyone that's not able to feel music in the way I do, because I feel like, not I feel sorry, but it's such a great, oh, you'll know because you're musical. I mean, everybody watching this is musical, so they'll know too. But I mean, I guess if you're not musical, you don't know any different. But for me, it's a deeper level of being conscious. The bond you form with people when you do music, that is really special too, it's a beautiful thing. I would be lost without my music. It's kept me sane, definitely. Within reason.
She is from another planet, ladies and gentlemen. So.
Never want to be normal.
Normal's boring because you're a Capricorn. Nobody wants none of that normal shit.
I like being eccentric. I don't mind. Don't like me. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't want to be a gray blob in a gray world, man. I want to stand out. Like, hey.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I totally get it. And do your children sing along with you? Do they know your songs? Do they support your passion?
No, it's a funny one. So they both know I sing. So Amber is 9, and when I put my stuff on, she likes it. But as children, sometimes you're nearest to you, you're closest to you, just a bit more like, oh yeah, mum's singing. They hear it all the time, so it's nothing special. My 4-year-old is learning, and she seems to be a bit more wanting to perform herself. And I'm kind of secretly hoping one of them. I mean, not that I'm going to be pushy mum or anything with the theatre. But I kind of hope maybe one of them will believe in themselves more than I did and might pursue music. They both have cute voices, but yeah, I would say it's hard to tell yet. Grace, who's 4, may start to sing. She's got a really loud voice. She's got a set of lungs on her. And Amber has a gorgeous singing voice, but again, she likes to sing privately. She doesn't like to show it, so she's shy, a bit like I used to be,
And do you believe that by them seeing you, chase a dream or just be passionate about something, that it will help them when they get to that point in their life to be like, well, mom did it,
Yes, I really hope so. I mean, we as parents, we try and set a good example, especially with females. As a lot of women not just women, but a lot of women can be very insecure. And it's hard growing up as a girl when you become a teenager and stuff. And they're the times when you really got to set this in stone that you can believe in yourself. You can, and you can achieve your dreams. And I hope it shows to them that you can, you know, I hope they see me now being happy in my music, believing that I can do it. And that it's important to have projects as well and things outside of school or work, or, you know, we all need, and some people love sport, you know, I love my music. So, but yeah, I really hope they see, you know, I hope, you know, a strong person in me, you know, what I've learned over the years. But, you know, I mean, I'm not perfect. Every parent, it's difficult. You know, parenting's a hard job. A beautiful one, but it's hard work, you know.
Absolutely.
Oh God, yeah.
but I do have to say that just you know, I can even say it from the perspective of, you know, nephews that I have. They see what I'm doing and that inspires them. And, you know, that's a small difference in a world of differences that we're trying to make. So music does more than just, you know, show people that you can do something, because to make music is to truly believe, you
That's
know,
right.
and especially when you get around, you know, our age.
Well, you're look, young.
Just go with it. Just go with it, man.
I'm nearly half a century old. You know, I'm going to be like literally half a century old in 3 years. It's kind of freaky.
Yeah, if you keep thinking about it, it's gonna kill you. You just let it go.
I thought of this age really for me is just a number. You know, like when people say to me, you're nearly 50, you're going to retire in so many years. I'm like, I feel really young at 47. I got to tell you, I really do. I don't feel internally old, you know. I feel youthful, and obviously dating a younger man can help you with that.
Well, we only have a minute left. Is there anything?
No way. There's so much more to cover.
I know, but we only get 40 minutes. So, you know, we do what we can while we can. But is there anything that you'd like to say to anyone that's watching, anyone that might be struggling with belief, anyone that might be struggling with love, anything that you could tell them from your own experiences that might be able to help them?
Well, firstly, never give up on your dreams. Absolutely stay with it, because I'm living my dreams, some of them now, that, you know, little things like getting a PR feature for my music. It's never happened before because I met Real Talk Radio guys, you know, little dreams keep appearing. I fell in love. I found a soulmate. I never thought I'd find one, you know. Never give up on your dreams. Definitely if you're going through a tough time, ask for help. You know, people that love you will help you. But yeah, I also want to say a massive thanks to everyone at Real Talk Radio. I really mean that. You, Chris, Goran, Shahid, Brian.